All right, we are live from St. Peter's and Paul's in Passaic, New Jersey with Father Stephen. I'm Zach Martin, and today is your community health fair. It's really exciting to be here. Can you tell anybody who might be in the area where we're located and what are some of the activities that are provided here during your health fair?
Well, Father Zach, we're here at the corner of 3rd and Monroe. This is St. Peter and Paul's Russian Orthodox Cathedral in Passaic, New Jersey. So it's right at the corner of 3rd and Monroe. The parking lot that we're in is offset a little bit from the church property, so you have to come down either 3rd Street or 4th Street a little bit to see us. We have a community health and safety fair here planned, almost entirely put together by the Passaic City Health Department, to which I'm very grateful. They did a fantastic job. We have a number of vendors here. We're expecting about 30. I think we get close to that. There's all sorts of free health screenings going on now. We have free blood pressure screening. We have, and as a live event, I think I see smoke coming back.
Yeah, I was just going to say something happened over there.
Yeah, I wonder if the fire department would be interested in the fire department is here, by the way, and
it looks like a live fire exercise about to happen.
It does, yeah. It looks like we're covering a live event here, more ways than one. So. We
might call it holy smoke.
Yeah, well, it's coming from the back of the church.
Yeah.
So we have a number of vendors here from various providers, healthcare providers throughout the region. St. Mary's Hospital in Passaic, St. Joseph's Hospital in Patterson. As I mentioned, the Passaic City Health Department is here. So the various screenings include blood pressure, glucose monitoring, stroke awareness seminars that we have going on downstairs in our cultural center right here on the church property. There's a chiropractor here. My chiropractor, Dr. Sidoti, is here with his crew.
And you can also have your child tested to make sure that there's no lead in the blood. So
yes, there's a lead screening. That's an important thing, especially in areas where there may be older buildings where there's a lot of lead paint, or in some cases where families that eat traditionally out of lead-lined pots, that's been a problem. And so here in the city of Passaic, they've undertaken a huge effort to combat lead poisoning in children. And they're to be commended highly for their efforts.
It looks like we have some sort of, a big deal approaching.
We do. Where?
Right there.
Where?
Who's that guy?
Oh, Father Raphael is here.
Oh.
Here's Father Raphael. I didn't expect him to come, and here he is. Father Raphael Melendez, a cleric from St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral in Howell Township, is here, and I asked him to come a while ago, and I didn't know he was going to actually come, but thank God he's here because we have the church open, by the way.
Yeah.
So anybody that's in the neighborhood, if you want to come down and learn about the history of the church, I can give you a little tour. But Father Raphael is here. If for those who would rather hear the tour in Spanish, he's here to do that. Father Raphael has a Spanish language mission where we have it a little bit on hold right now for the time being. But we'll get that going. He's been serving Divine Liturgy here in Spanish. He started earlier this year, and like I said, he's a little bit of a hiatus right now because of some logistical problems. But that'll work itself out, and we'll get back to doing that again shortly, God willing.
And if you want to get your eyes checked, we have that, so you can get a screening to make sure that your vision is okay. And then if it turns out you need some glasses or to be seen by an ophthalmologist, we can make those arrangements for you. The various testing, including rapid HIV testing. We also have members of the Passaic Fire Department as well as the Passaic Police Department. And a special announcement, you have 1 week if you're between the ages of 18 and 35 to apply to be a Passaic police officer. They're going to hire 20 new officers this year. So if you're thinking about being a police officer, this would be a great community to be part of. Passaic is on an upswing, if you might want to call it that. Mayor Hector Lora is doing a fabulous job. I really like him. He's one of the most favorite mayors I've ever met in my whole entire life. There's a lot of great projects in the town of Passaic. You have St. Peter's and Paul's, and not just St. Peter's and Paul's. I think there's a church for just about everybody in Passaic. It's a great community. St. Peter's and Paul's was the church that my family is from. We found my mom's baptismal records, which was really exciting. I serve at St. Sergius of Radonez in New York City on 93rd and Park, so I'm also a Russian Orthodox priest. So when some people call me Zach or some people call me Father Richard, there's where that all comes from. So see the police vehicles that we have, the fire trucks. I love fire trucks. We have John O'Brien, who's a member of the church, also a registered nurse. If you want to get your blood pressure taken or your glucose checked or get any sort of simple testing, it's available at the health fair. We're going to be here until 1 o'clock. And you just never know what good stuff you could find. We've got tchotchkes. We've got all kinds of pens. School is starting to open up around the area, so you can get some pens for the kids and look at all the information we have for you. And take a tour of the church, which was, it says it's built in 1902 on the sign, but I think it predates 1902.
Well, the community was founded in 1902, originally as a what was referred to as a Uniat parish, which meant that it was an Eastern Rite church under the Pope of Rome. And by 1910, it had joined a movement that many Eastern Rite Roman Catholics in this nation had that were immigrating to America had undertaken, which was a move into the Orthodox Church. And so in 1910, it was accepted into Orthodoxy under the Moscow Patriarchate, which it still remains today. The original church was on the property where the cultural center is right now. It was a small building, and by 1910 it had become too small for the congregation, which was expanding rapidly. And in that same year, 1910, the pastor at that time, we also had a pastor who was a saint of the church, St. Alexander Hodovitsky, who became a martyr for the faith when he went back to Russia, was martyred by the Bolsheviks. So we have the distinction honor of having him as one of our pastors. Shortly thereafter, from 1911 to 1913, the new beautiful edifice that we have now was constructed with money that came from Tsar Nicholas II, who himself is a martyr of the church. So we have two saints that are directly connected with this parish, which is a great blessing.
And, unbeknownst to me at the time when I served my first liturgy here, I call up my Uncle Pete, Peter Silva, and I go, "Do you know St. Peter's and Paul's in Passaic?" "Do I know it? That's the church I grew up in." And we became fast friends, actually friends before that. We have our Orthodox Guys podcast. And I got to say that St. Peter's and Paul's has a special place in my heart. It's part of my family history. It's a palace. I tell you, it's one of those treasures. You'll love the icons. Father Stephen's daughter, Anna, she puts most of those together. It just does an amazing job. So come and meet Father Stephen, meet the community, come here to worship with us. You won't be disappointed. I think it'll be a great renewal for you. Enjoy the activities that we have here today, and I'm sure that this is going to be one of those annual events at St. Peter's and Paul's. Don't forget, if you're thinking about what you want to do when you grow up, if you're between the ages of 18 and 35. I tried them to raise the age to in our 50s. I think we'd make great cops. It'd be funny, But
they would lower the physical standards a little bit.
Well, I think we could. I think we could do it. I think we could do it. But anyway, if you're between the ages of 18 and 35, the end of the week is the deadline for the application. They're going to have 20 hires this year, so it's really good. And I think it's a great opportunity if you want to be a police officer and serve the community. For Father Stephen, I'm Zach Martin. Thank you very much. And look for us on Facebook.com/BigFatAmerican, as well as there is a site for the church, which is
SSPPROC.org.